Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Airships Conquer the Skies. Today's beverage is a lovely cup of peppermint tea. So with the latest 2019 Halloween update, we have seen the introduction of a new monster called the Shell Walker, which obviously we've featured several times on the channel as part of an unlock challenge, and now that's all been completed and done, is now available, which is cool. However, alongside that update, we also got another addition to the Conquest mode. Now, it's not the fabled co-op slash diplomacy update, which I'm looking forward to immensely. However, it is to do with a specific piece of technology. Let's go over to Conquest and to the new game. We can see that we have a very bright coat of arms in the center. This is something I've just recently set up just to save a bit of time. Now this is, if we click edit, a new piece of, well, it's not actually a piece of technology, but it is a new coat of arms that unlocks Cultist technologies. A worm-eye unlocks Cultist technology. So previously you could go for things like a lozenge technology, one of the NGI suspendium, high pressure suspendium, and scientific suspendium mining. So you get different technologies there, whereas this one unlocks a full tech tree based on Cultists and everything to do with that. And as I've not played it, I thought it would be interesting in trying this out and see pretty much what it's all about. So we're going to do a bit of a mini-series on this one. Let's go to leave, and what sort of options are we looking at? Well, we're going to go with medium difficulty, medium size map, and pretty much everything on default, I think. In terms of the naming scheme, I'm trying to think of something sort of Lovecraftian or Cthulhu mythos type stuff. I mean, I could go with, how do you spell Cthulhu? T-U-O-G, something like that. In fact, to be honest, that is probably how Lovecraft would spell a monster. So, I mean, yeah, that's fairly accurate, I think. King in yellow, no. Let's go with Yig, because it's very simple to type, and I think that's like a snake creature type thing. I'm surrounded by the actual world. I've played the board game several times. The Arkham games and Mansions of Madness and the different PC games, and a couple of friends really like it and have read the books, but I have not. Let's go to start and see if we are screwed right from the beginning, because if we're placed in the centre, then that's something that will be suboptimal to say the least, because at the moment the only way to win is by destroying everybody, which is why I'm really looking forward to diplomacy stuff. Anyway, we have been placed in a slightly favourable position, which is good. You can see we are on the right hand side here, on this sort of outcropping on this main peninsula here. In fact, it is actually one fully connected bit of land here. You can see it goes all the way around. There is a tiny bit on the right hand side, but that's not accessible, and you can see that even though this stuff here is quite near us, it does actually connect with roads all the way around, and obviously this here is going to be a very big choke point, and there's also some borders here. So we have Ignat to the north, and then finally to our south we have Supark, and I'm seeing that we have three of the little towns outside there. You do each sector, for lack of a better term, each region has 3 towns, I believe, and we can see we have clockwork wasps over there. We have a mad scientist there, which we have seen before, which is very difficult to defeat. Further down, just looking there, seeing if there's any other monsters. No, not seeing anything there. Okay, so we are here. Our objective would be to probably take out the guy down the south there first, and then we can concentrate on this. Probably fortify this place in order to stop these, although there's 3 people right next to each other, so they're most likely going to be fighting over the land around there, and almost certainly what will happen is one of them will gain dominance and take over this, and then we're going to be pretty much screwed either way. But anyway, I digress. Let's go over to research, and we will check out the new tech tree. So in previous versions of the game, the tech tree would start about there. So you'd have your military training, aerial tactics, elite infantry, and then it would go up to either fast cannon reloads or safer cannons. But now you can see it's been expanded upon because we have selected this cultist option, and we have the acolyte recruitment cultist crew. We then have an option for secret signs and rituals, minus 30% enemy spy action success, or plus 30% spy action success. So we can either defend or we can attack. The next one is promise of liberation, which is minus 33% cultist crew maintenance, or promise of power, plus 50% construction speed, which is really, really cool. The one after that is secrets of death. Sick bays can revive the dead. Okay. And then the one after that is the awakening, can summon kraken. that should be interesting to try out. So what we're going to do is go for probably... well, I'm going to use spies quite a bit, and I believe that the spy stuff has been overhauled. I don't know to what extent it has been overhauled to, but I do know that there's been some changes there. We're going to send a spy over to Supark there, just because we like to see what is in these areas, and we need to know what we can attack with. Speaking of attacking with, we do have something called the Abhorrence, which is an interesting vessel. It's got like 2 balloon sections on the bottom there, with this bit at the back. Let's go to our refit, and we'll see what it's like. Yeah, there we go. There is our vessel. So we've got these large suspendium dust tank end caps on either side, with this sort of strut down the center. We have the, what is that? What's all this? Rifle flip. These are all rifles. Oh, large sail. That's where it is there. You see, though, that the crew has got these sort of red vests on, because that's what they're all about. Because the cultists... Oh, it looks like they've got like a medallion in the centre as well. There we go. Anyway, so that is our cultist there. We will try to build something. Let's go to our main city here, and then we'll say build a ship. We're not going to design anything. And I'm going to build probably the Prims, because Prims are really, really good. These are just 2 suspendium dust tanks, like so. We have a sail on the top. We have some ammo. We have a cockpit, a wooden hatch, a little bit of... a couple of berths to go up and down, and also to supply crew, and then 2 ballistas at the front. But the main advantage is that there are only 266 generic units of currency, so we are going to build only 2 of them at this stage, because that's all we can build, and then we'll unpause it to normal speed there and see just what the deal is. Actually, we should probably set some research. Minus 30% enemy spy action success, or plus 30% spy action success. We're going to go with plus spy action success. Research budget is going to be standard subsidies, I think, because we need our money for ships. And let's go back to normal speed there. So we have Fogcastle, Teagive, and New York. New York. Right, so we've our main city is called main city is called Yig. We've got Hyperborea down there. We've got Broster and Lollet. And Spy is now active. I can view that city, and we can see that they have... Oh, it looks like they're also... Well, I was going to say they're cultists as well. That is not technically true. They might be cultists, I guess. No, they don't have the right flag, and I don't know if cultists can be... it can be used by the AI. I actually have no idea whether that can happen. But either way, let's go to View City, and they have the same sort of design as us. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive structures. You can see they have got like an eye on the top there. So that is leading to me. That leads me to believe that that is actually the cultist stuff, but I don't think it is, because the actual emblem isn't right. But anyway, you can see each one of these has a cannon on the front and a rifle. So we've got 4 cannons pointing forward and 4 rifles, followed by that thing there. So we need to probably put... Actually, how much is it? It is a total of... Well, it says 520 to destroy, but I think it's... I don't know if it's... I think it's worth more than that. Either way, we're going to unpause it. We're going to go to build ships, and once again, we're going to keep on building some of these Prims. We want to build as many as we can. I'm probably going to go for 10 at least before we start attacking. Obviously, we do have up north here as well to deal with. I'm not going to send a spy, because I think that would be a bit problematic at this stage. Let me go for another Prim there. These Prims are very, very cheap, 200 odd generic units of currency, and also they have an advantage in that they don't require any technologies. I believe they're all tier 0 technology. Even though we have access to tier 1, so we can have cannons and things, we are going to use all of the basic stuff. There we go. So actually, no, the basic, I believe, is actually a ship in itself. We've got to build ship, and down to the basic. Yep, there it is there. So it is using the same sort of technology as the Prim. It's just got ballistas, it's got large suspendium dust tanks, muskets, things like that. But... all it's a bit on a stained glass window, apparently. Yeah, it's just for sort of wandering forward and destroying everything with the ballistas there. We also have, I'm trying to find it, I don't know what we call it, Harrier Leroy, Necrosis. No, that's much more advanced. The Rock Tosser, there it is, the Rock Tosser, which is these large suspendium dust tanks and then loads of grenades on the left and right. That is pretty much built to take out the enemy from a very high altitude, but that was built as a sort of primitive technology level where we don't have access to bombers, so we just use grenades, which is why we've got that there. Anyway, it looks like we are not losing money, but we're only down to 53 now per turn. So I'm going to build one more prim, and we'll do that. And then once this is built, we are going to attack, and we'll go down and take out this area first. Looks like they are trying to build something, and it is another one of these interesting designs, but we're going to use what we have and go down to there and then take that out. Now they shouldn't really be able to react, so let's go to invade and we'll see whether or not they move, and it doesn't look like they have. They don't have anything there anymore, so obviously something's happened around that area for that to happen. You can see we are slowly going towards this area. Now I've not got any spy there because I don't have enough money, and also I'm not expecting a massive amount of resistance. Sadly, it looks like this, well, I don't know whether it's the prims or whether it's the other thing in there. That's the quite slow one. I'm guessing all the above. If we go over to the right hand side, you can see there is one defensive structure, so that's something that we have to deal with. What I'm going to do is keep these. That's a problem actually, because these don't actually have any where to shoot up, so we're going to place them there. And what I want to do is move along and try and force this thing down, because if I can force it down, then we will be at a distinct advantage there. You can see that the harpoons are going in, and what I'm going to do is move these things down, let them two fight it out. I don't really care what those do. And looks like they are starting to chase me, so I'm going to go down. Those I will be able to then move back up and take that out. You can see that the primitive shots are hitting that, and they are doing a lot of damage, but I'm going to strike while the what's the term? Strike while the iron's hot, and we will get our shots into this thing. Looks like that is now on fire, and they're going right underneath us, which means we're going to have to order a couple of these separately, although I think they're pretty much ready to do that, and then they'll move that way, turn around, that one can move forward as well, and there's the shots. If that had stayed aloft, then we would have been, I wouldn't say in trouble, but it certainly would have caused a lot more issues for us. There we go. We've lost, or they've lost, half of their suspendium reserves, and they're going to try, and I do say try, to get behind us. We're obviously quite maneuverable here, so we'll be able to go down and sort that out. I'm just going to bring this further down. You can see the shots are whizzing into that, and there we go. That thing has now, by the look of it, lost all of its suspendium, which is excellent for us. We're going to go down and keep firing into that. Now, this other Abhorrence here, I'm going to keep in between their Abhorrence class, if that's a thing, and their defensive structure, because we have rifles on both sides, so it is important that we use as much of that as possible. Looks like now we have taken out completely the remaining vessels, or the remaining vessel, singular, and we are now putting all of our fire into this defensive structure. I'm not too worried about anything else being destroyed, really, although that's going to, yeah, that's taking them out there. It looks like we have taken a fairly big amount of damage on this thing, but the rest of them survive with pretty much without a scratch, so that is a victory. And we're going to go with a gentle takeover, because why not? We could pillage it, but no, our objective is to take it over. And while we have the element of surprise, we are going to go down over to there. While this is going on as well, I want to start building up my forces in the main city, simply because if we don't, what will probably happen is that we'll get ambushed from the guy up north, and that's something I really don't want to have happen. So we are seeing that there's only one defensive structure again. I'm going to move this down to there. All of these I will move into, we can't move them in a block, sadly. We'll move them right next to each other, like that, and so forth, and then start the fight. You can see there's loads of suspendium rocks just floating away there, so we have to maneuver around them, and then we're just going to get up close as much as we can. We're probably going to put them on rapid fire as well. You can see just how slow that thing is now that we've, well, in general, I think. That's why the prims are quite good. They don't really have, I mean, I was going to say they don't really have any massive disadvantages, and that is, I guess, sort of true. For the most of the fights that they're going to face, well, okay, rapid fire is just not a thing. It's like that scene of 300 where there's just arrows raining down and pretty much not hitting anything. Let's put it back onto normal fire, because we were missing far too many of those shots. Yeah, these prims are they're fairly cool, because they've got decent speed, they've got enough service ceiling. It's not massive, but it's enough, and the weapons surprisingly cause a fairly decent amount of damage. When you start versing some much more armoured targets, although it doesn't get much more armoured than big concrete walls. But yeah, when you have targets like that, it can cause a problem. But they are piercing, and as you can see, they're firing away, blattering that. They do tend to fall out the sky very quickly when you lose one of these suspendium tanks, but it's again not a huge issue there. So we've managed to take out the defensive structure there, and we're now moving over to Lollet. Go back over to our main city, and we're going to build the Prim once more. And actually what we're going to do is start to actually Prim, there we go. I'm going to stop there. I'm actually going to select that one, that one, that one, and that one. That's actually deselecting them, and there we go. And then I'm actually going to say move to there. Now this is going to be, yeah, the Abhorrence, and you can see just how fast the Prims are compared to those. So that is Lollet, and we'll verse this thing here, and it looks like to be a fairly straight fight. It's a very, very flat plane here. We're going to say move over to there, get as close as we can, and we'll see what we can do. There's a shot coming in, and oh, looks like they are scraping the floor, and we have got a leak in the rear suspendium tank, and I think that was to do with the collision that we had there. And oh, there's going to be an explosion of, oh, there's an explosion of an ammo store. Not good. The thing with the Prims is that they don't have any sick bay, they don't have any repair bay, and probably more important, they don't actually have any way to put out fires. So you just have to hope you're fighting when it's raining. Although when it's raining, there's a high chance you can get struck by lightning as well. So yeah. So it looks like we have taken that out fairly successfully. The only weapons are on the back there, so it is just a matter of time now. Yeah, victory. We're going to say okay, and then we'll do a gentle takeover once again. And these things will now move back to Yig, because we need to get them repaired and also meet up with the other vessels that we're making. This thing's going to take quite a while to get there. I'm very tempted just to scrap the thing, although I will wait until it's back here to scrap it. So they're now back. We will go to repair. There we go. There's only one repair to do. This one's going to go back. Once it gets there, I think I may scrap it. I'm just going to repair 61, scrap 63. I'm just going to scrap it. I'd rather use the Prims that we have. So build ship, Prim, one of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the moment. And their main city, if we view that, has one of those, as well as 4 of the defensive structures. So we're not going to be able to do much against that. So what we need is something that's not primitive. The problem with that is, you've seen, if we don't have the service ceiling, we can't take that thing out. So what do we have? Another botfly is quite good. Service ceiling of, oh, it's only 70 meters, whereas the Prim is 123 meters. So we need something around the 150 meters mark, and something that we can build with the technology that we currently have. Well, Barry's not bad. Basic is actually probably what we want. The basic is probably what we want to be, in all honesty. So we are waiting for this to sort, and good grief, that is a really slow moving vessel. The game just stuttered there for a second, and that probably means that, yep, something's been taken over. You can see that pretty much what we foretold down here is sort of come to fruition, really. We've got all of the areas down the bottom that have now been taken over by actually one person. Yeah, and eventually they'll start ganging up on not just ourselves, but other people as well. Just going to speed up to a little bit of a faster bit there. I'm going to check high barrier. We've got defenses. We can repair that. I am going to... I think I will repair it, just as a matter of courtesy, really. This one actually doesn't have defenses. Build building, dark cube. I think we have to have at least some defenses in each one of these. I know it's going to cost money to do that, but I think it would be worth it. Although, no. Maybe not. Maybe not for 600. I'd rather take this guy out and then build smaller ones. In fact, what I might do is go over to the defenses there. We will refit it, save the design. It's called the Grand Garrison. I don't believe it is very grand, but we'll save it. We'll save the Grand Garrison, and then build defenses, build building, Grand Garrison. It's only 281, so that is perfectly acceptable rather than the over 600. Or yeah. That's far too much. Far too much. Lollet will have the same thing. Actually, we'll be able to... Ooh, we'll have to scrap that. 14 gold. Build building. And there we go on this flat plane. That gives us 237 generic units of currency remaining with 95 in the kitty. We're going to speed up to max speed and we can see that there is... Oh, research complete. We now have the 30% plus spy bonus. Yep, 30%. So now we have cultist, maintenance, or construction speed. We're going to go with promise of power, construction speed. And it looks like the guy in grey is happily taking over all of this, although they're about to lose their main city anyway, so I'm really not too concerned about that one. Let's go over to build ship, and we can get the basics. So this is going to take probably quite a while to build. We only have a medium shipyard, you see, although on max speed, really no time at all. But once that's built, we will then try to take out whatever's over here. View the city, and they haven't built anything else yet, but they are just finishing off one of those other Abhorrence. So we're going to invade, and nobody else is coming towards us. It's unlikely secret police is severe over there. Fair enough. They must be targeted by a lot of spy actions then. Let's have a quick look around the board. We can see that the south here, this little arm that comes out, is pretty much under the full control of the sort of red and white wavy line flag fella. We've also got a little bit of a holdout right in the centre, which they may be able to take some stuff back, but they currently don't have any cities. That's the main problem, that they have the little towns, but nothing else. We have the Cubs guy here. So ironically a fox, maybe a fox cub, who knows, which, as far as I can tell, don't have any... I don't think they have any... cities. Oh, no, to be fair, they do have that there. So yeah, this guy is over there as well. So maybe they'll be able to take some back. So they do actually have a city. Over on the left, we have a quite decent looking flag. It's like looks like a rat and anvil, which is a great name for a pub. We can see they have 2 cities and are taking over most of the countryside. We have a couple of holdouts around here, and then one on the left, and then some fairly big states when we get to the north here. Looks like this sort of harpoon type thing here, this guy, they are losing most of their territory. They have 1 city and 1 town, but the town is isolated, and also that's where their fleet is. But anyway, we're going to take over Supak, hopefully. You can see that we have most of our stuff here. In fact, we have all of it here, I believe, and we are going to move all of this up to where it can go to there. These can't go any further up. These we will place just behind this thing. What I'm planning is to move these 5 closer to here, get them taken out as much as possible. These will be taken out hopefully by the basic, and then we'll see how they go. So we'll start that fight there, and you can see actually they're moving down, which is something I did not expect, and that is totally acceptable because we have all of our weapons like that anyway. So these guys, I'll tend to focus on those. Same here, these will focus on those, and as you can see, we are causing a bit of damage. They're trying to move back up. We will then move back up ourselves. We are all about trying to take these out. Actually, what I'm going to do with these is move them. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep them where they are, because as these lose their suspendium tanks, they're going to drop down, and then they might be retargeted by these ones at the back there. Now, I'm actually going to move these further forward to get some more accuracy. The thing with these ballistas is they have a flat arc of fire. They have very little elevation. However, the depression is fairly decent, because it goes down at, I think, about a 45-degree angle. So there you are. It looks like they are trying to maneuver away from this thing, but if I bring that down, it will be retargeted. And there we go. There is the explosion, and the last suspendium chamber has been removed there. I'm going to get some leaking on the end cap of that suspendium, and it is now destroyed. It's got 1 more to go, and it's already starting to leak, and you can see the hail of fire that's going into them there. In terms of the back, you can see that there is very little damage on there, superficial damage. If we go to outside view, we are taking a lot of damage on the basic, but nothing that will... nothing. I was going to say nothing that'll get us destroyed, although that's leaking and we've lost some weapons there, so that is a bit of an issue. What I'm going to do with the basic is move it over to there, because I want to get it right far forward and close to the ground, simply because I don't know how long it's going to survive. The basic is, it's got rear-mounted guns as well, so we can use those to our advantage, and we'll use both of these, but I want it close to the ground because, quite frankly, I think it's going to fall out of the sky at any moment. There might be a big explosion, then that's us gone. What's also of some concern is that we're actually running out of ammo, so I'm going to go on to a rapid fire for the for the basic, but the prims we're going to put on aimed fire. Now, those look to be pretty much destroyed now, so it's going to move everything forward because it's all about getting these destroyed and winning the fight. As you can see, though, we are running low on ammo. 14 out of 48 ammo left. This one I've got on rapid fire simply because most of the weapons are destroyed anyway, so we might as well do that. Looks like there's a massive explosion there as the suspendium tank goes up. However, because we're so low at the ground, then it's not really too much of an issue. We have destroyed, by the look of it, one of these defensive structures, so all of the other shots are now going into the one behind. I will manually target that one as well because we do want to get that gone. This other... I was going to say the other stuff here we are still firing with. We've got 2 remaining ballistas on the front there, but that's nowhere near enough to take out these, although we also have the rear rifles shooting at what's left of those, but they, as you can see, have the Red Cross defeated, so it doesn't really matter. Looks like we are going to get a nice destruction there, and oh, there's another explosion on the basic, so we're going to lose this other suspendium tank, and that means that, yeah, we're still floating because we've got this one at the back there, but it's not entirely it's not entirely fighting fit, is it? Because we've lost more stuff. It would be fair to say that the best thing I can do with this thing now is to ram with it, because we've currently lost pretty much everything, so I'm going to go forward and ram. Oh, I'll have to move that back over. It actually lost too much altitude there. We've also got some fire, but this is one of the vessels that we can put fire out, although we are about to lose the rear suspendium chamber, and then there we go. We are now stationary, and that is technically a loss for me. I'm going to flee, and as you can see, we've had the basic immobile, so that is now destroyed. The rest is going to surrender, and we then need to move back over to Yig to get repaired, because we've lost most out there. However, if we view the city, we can see that they have pretty much lost most of their stuff. They've only got a tiny little section there of one of these grand fortresses, or whatever it was called. And then they've lost their other ships. So actually, we technically lost the fight, but in terms of the war, more likely we're going to win that one. So these don't require any upgrades, which is fine. So I could just invade again. I guess I could have invaded straight away on the last one there. So straight away back into this one. I say not worried about any defensive structures really anymore, and certainly not worried about any ships because they don't have any. And then we're just going to move straight forward. We're not going to change the rate of fire because I think having on the standard rate is perfectly acceptable. Aimed fire tends to be, well, probably be a little bit too slow. We'll probably lose some stuff. Rapid fire, the other way around, we'll just be missing absolutely everything. But we are very close in. We're only taking 2 cannon shots and 2 rifle shots, so yeah, it's not really too much of a problem. We are armed with wooden, it's just wooden armor, or the reinforced wooden armor with the sort of metal bars across them. So they're not terribly... I mean, we could have handled them with just wood wall. There goes another one of their defensive structures. Boom, boom, boom. And it just is a matter now of taking out this thing here. So I think we've already got it on... I'll focus on moving rather than focus on that one. Whoops. Yeah, I think it's pretty much over with. There's going to be an explosion, I think. Can they put it out in time? No, there's going to be an explosion. There's the ammo going up. Actually, it was a cannon. Ammo and stuff's burning, I think. The big brass eye on the top here has not protected them. Not enough praying, not enough sacrifice. There they go. And that is a victory. We're going to go with a gentle takeover, even though we are cultists. I guess if we were role-playing this better, it would be a brutal takeover. We will go over to our main city, Yig, and that is... Actually, no, we'll keep them where they are, to be honest with you, because otherwise this guy may want to charge into us. So we have a tiny shipyard here, and I don't think we have... No, we don't have any other bonuses on there. So, that has been a nice little assault around here. We've managed to take out our... most southerly neighbour on this landmass. Obviously, we've got the ones across the way here. However, they have their own stuff going on, and I'm hoping I'm not going to fight over here. I think fighting over here would be separated by the ocean. You know, traditionally a bit of an issue. Although we have got airships naturally. But yeah, I don't think taking this out would be I don't think it would be much advantage because we've got these guys are attacking each other. Then we've got that guy over there, and yeah, that's not. There's a lot to go on with there, and they'll be fighting each other, or me having to fling my hat in another ring. However, if we go up the north here, we can take Ignat, which is currently, I don't know if it's defended. It will have some defenses there, but we can easily take these cities here and then take out there and then start sweeping across. That's probably the way forward. What we'll almost certainly do is add some defenses, certainly to Serprak and then maybe to the other ones. We have got very basic ones there, but we'll keep some ships around as a sort of reactionary force. In fact, it might even be reacting tons, although I am focused currently quite heavily on getting the cultist stuff, because being able to resurrect the crew, sick base can revive the dead, and then over to summon Kraken. That's the one I'm interested in. Either way, we are going to leave it there for now. That has been a nice little bit of airships in the infiltrating city. Let's wait for this one to be completed, and actually while we're doing that, we'll build ship. We're going to build a basic and build that. We'll check that. So view the city. We can see that it has one defensive structure, and it's actually got composite armor. It's got different armor levels based on probably what's behind there. So I'm guessing ammo stores and things like that. So this is the more armored section around here, I think. Certainly they've armored the cannons up. Yeah, interesting. So is that it? Yeah, they've got no ships because I'll be able to see the ships here. So they really don't have any fleet. Interesting. Right, we're leaving it there. Next episode, we'll go ahead and probably start taking these out and hopefully not be destroyed, although that's a standing order, I think. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.